Thanks for joining us today. This is your host, Kenyatta Goins, along with Roberta Goins and Torrey Jones. And I'm sure we're all so excited that you're here. And our goal is to teach, coach, and train you and make you the best that you could be. Perhaps you're new to real estate or sales, or you could be a seasoned veteran. I'm sure there's something that we all might have here for you to help teach, coach, and train you on and give you the best direction of mentorship that we can do. We've partnered with some of the top producers in the industry, as well as other business professionals and entrepreneurs, and we bring them on our calls weekly and monthly. So you never know what you're going to get, but you're going to get a lot. So always keep your pad and paper with you and enjoy the program. God bless. I'll talk to you after this program is over.
Yeah, we got a lot of great information to kind of share tonight, and we're hoping to kind of open up the floor to a lot of people to kind of hear their experiences in the market right now and kind of hear what types of ideas and things come to your mind when we talk about the topic. And tonight we're going to be talking specifically about open houses, really just how everything around open houses and how you can really use them and leverage them to help build your business and really gain a more comfortable sense and be more involved within real estate. So it's like an easy, free way to kind of build your business and get you doing real estate. So to open up tonight, as always, for those new people on the call, we always like to open up and tell you a little bit about TGRI. We're a relatively new team at EXP, but we're growing rapidly because we're just providing that valuable information out there, and we're trying to help 100 agents and 100 families. So Kenyatta's going to just open up this real quick and just tell you about our mission and really just open this call up and get it started. So let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm glad everyone has made it here, and we still got people coming in, and we are TGRI. Oh, how did I do that? Oh, boy. Hold on. I'm clicking buttons, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let other people in. I'm hitting the wrong button. We're TGRI. That's Team Goins Realty Investments. And we are a growing team here in the Valley of the Sun, but we're global because we're under EXP's umbrella. We're powered by EXP. Our mission is to serve our clientele and our communities by providing honesty, professionalism, and a tailored approach to real estate. How we serve is what we do. We convert our clients and agents' vision into tangible success while aiding to increase savings and profit, reduce risk, and save valuable time. I might have to run out to my truck and get some coffee.
Yeah, no worries, Kenyatta. Thank you. No worries. Yeah, and that's exactly right. I think the key word in our mission statement is tangible success. That's what we're always trying to reach for. So we're very flexible. We're always trying to kind of adapt to the current situation and arm our agents with the most up-to-date advice and things that are happening so that they can go and be successful and really help their clients and themselves and their families. So in order to do this, what we really focus on are three main tenets. The first being centralization. We want to put the best of everything in one spot for our agents so that they can understand and operate effectively out in the field, whether that be SOPs or different types of documents. We're in the process of developing all these different things and really centralizing it so that when a need comes up for an agent, we can help provide them with the information and the resources that they need in order to be successful. And that really leads into agent development, where we're always trying to be an agent-focused team. Real estate's really all about the individual and how they can best use their resources, their time, and their knowledge and skills in order to create a successful outcome for their unique client. So we're the same way with our agents. We try to focus on them one-on-one. If they need anything, they always know who to reach out to. And lastly, we want to help our agents build businesses. Kenyatta has built many businesses in his past. I come from a business background, working in a lot of different things, and we built these processes into everything that we do with the hopes that we can build a business and build something that's repeatable and something that doesn't take a ton of time or stress or adds anything like that to your life. Of course, these things happen with business, but we try to limit as much as we can with these different tools that we've developed. So when I talk about tools, what we mean are just different client and agent focused resources. We have a lot of different things like process flow maps, checklists, digital scripts. Again, all these things we're just in development, and we're almost complete with all of them and ready to roll them out to everybody. But it's been a long time coming. But if you're looking for any access to any of these things, just reach out to the team and we can help support you where you need at the time. And then as these resources become more and more available, you'll be the first to know as you come onto these calls. But we got a lot of different client facing tools as well, different PowerPoint decks that explain the whole buying process. We're really trying to facilitate the transaction and also just provide as much information as we can to our clients so that they have everything that they need to make a decision. And that's really what it is in a market like today, is you just have to make the decision and commit in order to really be successful. You can't really sit down because opportunities go very, very quickly. So we're always just trying to have everything in place so our agents can communicate that to their clients and enhance and enable success. So when we open up every call, before we really start, we always like to open up the floor to any activities or learning moments that anybody has from the team, anything that they're recently experiencing with any clients, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I don't know, is Kimber on the call? I didn't see. She got anything for today? She always has something.
I thought she left the call. I thought I saw.
I let her back on. She's in.
Okay.
Well, until then, I'll tell a brief story. Oh, I see her just coming back on. 1 second, Kimber, now that I got rolling.
Nope, go ahead.
Recently, I'm working with a for sale by owner out in Sun City, and I didn't have I realized that I've been working with this person the whole time, signing all the documents, and this transaction is in relation to a specific trust. Something that I didn't verify right when I started the transaction was that, yes, this seller is on the trust, but she's not necessarily in the next in line in succession. So I didn't find that out until 2 days ago, and we're supposed to close tomorrow. So it was a pretty hectic time to kind of coordinate and have all the documents be signed and submitted. So always make sure when you're working with someone with a trust, always just get that thorough, detailed information from title way ahead of time, and really just look into it and make sure that if they're not on the trust, do they have a power of attorney or anything like that. So that's my learning moment for the week. Kimber, anybody else?
I have a quick question. This is Sandra. So you mentioned checklists. I think that's awesome because everyone, especially if they're just getting into the game, they need to understand what, based on the experienced agents, what is far as the protocol. So would that be considered something to include on the check?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that on there now?
Well, I will be updating it most definitely. Okay. That's for sure. And yes, all these different things are kind of knowledge experiences and different things that we try to use. And we use a technique called, it's called like a business case. So every transaction, whenever we complete it, the agent fills out a quick little business case that just says, hey, this is the buyer, this is the seller, this is what happened during the transaction. And then over time, we build up a repository of these different things that we can then build into our processes. So definitely, this is going on my report for sure. I'm definitely not including this one. And it was a good learning experience for title as well, because she kind of missed it and she could have caught it a lot earlier instead of just last minute. So yeah, definitely.
So you guys are recording, documenting your lessons learned as well?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Yep, and every transaction we're trying to do that, make it as easy as we can, so that we know kind of what agents are really experiencing out there, so that we can teach better. Yeah. So.
And Dawn will have a big story to tell pretty soon. She could write a book.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A novel, and I could make millions. It'll be coming soon in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so Kimber, sorry about cutting you off. Did you have a quick one just so that we can get it and move on?
No, nothing really new. My listing, it was kind of an interesting situation where the at the time that we were setting the price, the comps were not coming in to the price that the buyer or the seller wanted to list the house at. So we set it about $30,000 more than what I was kind of counseling on based on what the comps look like. The appraisal just came in this week and it met value at the $30,000 more. So sometimes, the facts aren't always true. So that's just kind of one thing I wanted to put out there. And also with the fact that the offer that we got and that we're going to close on Monday, because I got the clear to close today from the lender. It's kind of an interesting dynamic, like 10,000 over what the list was, which was 30,000 more than what I consulted on. So just sometimes anything can happen in a transaction. So I've just kind of learned from this whole experience that sometimes facts aren't always true.
Yes.
I just wanted to put that out there in the universe.
Yep. And there's definitely multiple truths depending on where you look. You can pull comps in 4 different systems and you'll get 4 different answers. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad it worked out in your favor this time. Hopefully that continues. So
yeah.
That's great.
I'm praying every day.
Yeah, exactly. So then for real quickly, I know, Don, we have some upcoming events that we'd like to kind of brief the team on, especially those living in the Phoenix metro area. We got something coming up. So Don, did you want to take this?
Yeah, thanks, Troy. So we've got a really fun event coming up. We need to still solidify some of the details and the exact date and whatnot. We'll definitely have those on our future calls as well as social media. So please don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for updates on this. But we're going to be having a business builder event. We're going to be partnering with one of our lending partners. And they are amazing. They're going to have all sorts of resources as far as social media. We're going to be doing headshots. We're obviously going to have an introduction to TGRI and our team, as well as our partners and what they do. Like I said, they're very active on social media. They are like TikTok geniuses. I'm a little bit older, so I don't know really anything about, I hear about TikTok. I'm not on it. I don't really understand it. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot about TikTok and how I can implement it into real estate and growing the business with TGRI as well as myself. We're going to also have some breakout workshop classes. Again, those will be solidified as we move along in the planning process, but it's going to be a really fun, casual event. Bring your spouse, bring your colleagues, bring your friends that might be interested in real estate or, mortgage or lending, whatever it may be, title. Maybe they're just interested in something around the real estate industry. Bring them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we'll have all of these updates. We are looking at the first or second week of November, so it will be before the holiday. We're not going to throw it on you the week of Thanksgiving when everybody's running around and trying to get everything done. So stay tuned on this, but I please, beg you guys, if you're in the Phoenix Metro, come. It's going to be so much fun. It's not going to be a stuffy hotel meeting room where we're just sitting there looking at, a screen all day with a water station in the back of the room. It's going to be a lot of fun, very interactive. It's going to be great networking. So keep an eye out for our updates on social media, and please keep attending our weekly calls, and we'll be updating you as we solidify all of the details.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, looking forward to it. And anybody that just needs a new headshot. I know those are kind of hard to come by. So if you need a new professional headshot, regardless, I know I'll be using mine on everything. So I look forward to that. Thank you, Don.
Yeah, and thank you for mentioning that, because it's right before the new year. And I think a lot of people go into the new year with a lot of, New Year's resolutions, and who doesn't want a little spruced up, headshot going into the new year. So that's a great point. I know I do. Exactly. I need one. So.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll do we'll flash them all on the call afterwards, and we'll all see our new headshot.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
We'll create some kind of, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
All right.
All right, thank you, Don. So we're going to quickly just move on to tonight's topic. So tonight we're going to talk all about open houses. This is something that's on top of mind specifically for our team, because we have 2 open houses coming up this week. We have one out in Chandler this Friday from, I believe it's 12 to 6, I believe. And then we have another one this upcoming Saturday from 10 to 4 o'clock, and that one's going to be out in Mesa. So we really just wanted to kind of do a refresher, not only for our whole team, but also for ourselves as we kind of understand and prioritize what we need to be focusing on and how we can make these open houses as successful as possible. So in order to do that, I'm briefly going to just talk about and you see, I didn't update the title, so apologies on the title. But I want to talk about playbooks and kind of what a playbook is. So you saw that I kind of titled this section Open House Playbooks. And what a playbook really is it's a how-to guide. It's a resource. It's something that you can use as you're going through the process in order to kind of visually see and refer to different types of ways to absorb the content and the information. It's really a strong resource that's designed to be organized in a way that, depending on where you are within a certain transaction or play, playbooks are often used in football and other sports. It's just a fallback resource that helps you quickly react to the situation at hand. And we've developed a buyer playbook specifically, and the content that we're going to kind of briefly gloss over today is contained within those playbooks that we've been developing. So I'm briefly going to just talk about a couple of these different overarching themes and benefits of doing open houses, and why you should really focus on trying to at least get out to some open houses every month to just get more involved in real estate and see how that kind of builds, and it creates almost a snowball effect and really helps ease your way into real estate. So what is an open house, and how can I use that to build my pipeline? An open house is basically anytime an EXP agent or someone on TGRI has an open house or a listing. Typically within our listing strategy, we want to host an open house, which is basically a set amount of time in which we can have multiple agents at the house and really focus on marketing and pushing and getting as many different buyers into the house as possible. So typically we try to do these within a week or so of a property coming online. But it really depends on the specific buyer situation. And when I say the buyer situation, I mean, if they're living in the house, we're going to need to be a little bit more flexible about how and when we set up these events. But for vacant properties, open houses you can really get creative and really build out the space and really make it a fun, interactive way for marketing and meeting people within real estate who are actively searching in the market. And I know Kenyatta's got a ton of great ideas and different techniques that he's used in the past with Roberta. So I'm sure we'll be able to get into details into all of that at a later date. But the first thing I like to focus on with an open house is you get to meet the neighbors in that area. An open house is just an easy way for you to get in and talk to these kind of people, because if they're a homeowner, or even if they're not a homeowner, if they're renting, they have an opportunity to purchase in the future, and they may be experts on the neighborhood. So we always try to, whenever we meet or have an open house, we always like to go out as a team and make it a fun event, just to pass out information about the open house and let the neighbors know that a house is being listed. And sometimes you can always ask them if they know anything about the area that you would suggest. And this is a great way to get information and just kind of get used to talking to people about real estate. And the more you talk about it, and you use the open house as your proof of expertise that you're working this property that's going to be sold, and if you can educate yourself prior, then you really have an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise to different people. And when you demonstrate that expertise and you're an expert on the market, you know the average days on market, you know how many properties sold in that area, you know this kind of information. It helps to kind of grain those pathways into your head so that you start to look out for these types of things. And as you talk about it more, you start to see more examples of that in your everyday life. So just getting out and doing these types of events really helps you just get better at real estate and understanding more.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure.
May
No,
I interrupt for a second? I was just thinking, so when you have your open house, are there stats available, like printed documentation stating that we've sold this house. It was listed at this price, but we were able to get X number of dollars over the price that was agreed to on the posting. And I was also wondering, and forgive me, I haven't looked closely at the new sign, but is there any way to include your Facebook page as well as the Instagram information location on those signs? Because a lot of people today, I'm not a millennial, but I try to have a millennial spirit, and I know they rely on that type of media. So if we can, well, Kenyatta's group, you guys, if you can always keep that in mind, to have those resources there, because people go on that site, they want to see what's sold, they want to see how successful you are. If you have those stats available when they walk in the door, hand in the stats, that's almost saying, hey, I am the one for you if you're looking for a
Absolutely.
house. Okay, that's it
Absolutely.
for me.
You sure? No, you ain't.
Is
No, I'm
everybody
not
taking
sure.
notes? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm trying because I did a playbook. I've been involved in 2 playbooks. Now, when you mentioned playbook, I'm like, okay, this is the buzzword for everybody, which is a good idea. But in an actual playbook, you can customize it to anything you want or however you want to set it up, as far as the contact table of index. But what should be included in there, which I'm recommending, I'm not telling anyone, I'm just throwing ideas out there, areas of responsibility. Because a lot of people don't know, okay, what's expected of the person who's selling the house? If the person who's selling the house is, I hate to say this, but their house isn't well kept. So some of the things that you think will increase the value should be that information should be shared with the seller. So this gives the agent somewhat of dialogue and guidance to prepare that person for success. So what's the agent's responsibility? What's the buyer's responsibility? What's the seller's responsibility? So those things are critical for playbook because everybody has a solid understanding of their roles. Okay, that's it for real. That's it.
All right. But
All
see,
right,
now I know you didn't read your pre-listing packet all the way through.
Who are you talking to, mister?
I got you now. Just so you know.
I went into corporate world. I slipped into corporate world. Okay. And it's so hard for me to just snap out of it.
Hit reverse and you go read the papers I gave you. You see all that's there already.
It says okay. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you have it already. So that tells me you're ahead of the game.
Yes. Absolutely.
We got you covered.
Yeah, and those are all great points. And that's all kind of what we're trying to focus on when we're training ourselves as well as our agents, is really educating that client on the front end. And those are all huge points that need to be clarified with the client prior to going into an employment agreement with them. And it's definitely information that we should have on hand and available. And in regards to that social media aspect, we are in the we do have, Kenyatta has a couple different QR codes that we'll be able to just scan and it'll go right to our page and a lot of these other things. So we've been really trying to work on and develop those. So
nice.
That is on the sign and our open house signs as well.
But those are all
keep it moving because we got a lot
points.
of ground to cover tonight. So we're gonna keep it moving. Questions and comments at the end because we got to end at 7. So
alrighty. Yeah, no worries. This is all really good content.
Your questions, write it down because we're gonna go over stuff and we're gonna keep adding. So it's very important stuff.
Yeah, no, this is all really good because it's definitely all high level things, and this is all valuable information that we all need to learn. And thank you for that. And that's kind of what we're talking about when it says expertise. Yeah.
Okay.
So then lastly, that just goes into social proof. If you're in an open house, you know, that's just an opportunity for you to show your network that you're active, doing something in the business, continuing to work. And it's also just something people talk about, the things that are in their lives. So if you're in an open house and you're just generally talking to people, then you have something else related to real estate, related to your business that you can talk to. And then lastly, open houses are just a really great resource for people, for buyers who might be searching Zillow or Trulia or any of these realtor.com, who may not actually have a agent that they're currently working with. And if you do some of these things and you do know some of this stuff that Sandra was talking about, what we've been talking about on this call, then you're going to be able to potentially recruit those buyers. And who knows, if they're qualified as well to purchase the home and they want to put an offer in, there's an opportunity to do a dual representation. So there's a lot of potential going on when it comes to open houses. And this is kind of how you could use them to help build your business. So when we talk about neighborhood expert, what we're really talking about is you want to have a lot of qualitative information as well as quantitative information on the area, the specific area. So when I say qualitative, this means things that aren't like hard data or numbers. This is kind of useful information that somebody can use and relate to. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical. It can be a lot of different things, but some qualitative and useful information that you could receive prior to an open house would be, as you go and drive that neighborhood, collect that information and data from all the buyers. Now you know about all of the neighbors in the area, as well as your research on the area. You know where the good restaurants are. You know local events that are hosted there. You never know what kind of buyer is going to be showing up to that open house. It might be an investor. He might want to just want to flip it. Well, you can say, oh, well, this is located near the Waste Management Open. This thing goes like crazy in the summer. Have you seen the Airbnb stats here? This kind of information will help you. This qualitative information, like landmarks and shopping centers, will help you kind of speak and easily start conversation with the buyers that are coming through the door. And then lastly, you also want to have quantitative information. So this is the ones and zeros. This is like the different transaction numbers, the actual market data related to this area. So there's usually two different types of people. There's like kind of feel good talk, like feelings people, and then there's money, qualitative numbers types of people. And some people really want to know the specific investment side of a house, and they're less interested in how the house makes them necessarily feel. So you really want to know the turnover rate in that area. How many houses sell in this subdivision each year? How does that compare to this year? How does the subdivision compare to the zip code? So you want to know this kind of information and data. And before every listing or open house, prior to the open house, any of the agents who sign up for one of our listings, I create one of these qualitative and quantitative packets that I provide to them, because then we just kind of look it over before the meeting, and as well as you have a resource that you can hand to the people who are actually showing up to the event. And it's an easy way to kind of be an expert, even if this isn't necessarily your listing. And that's one of the benefits of listings or open houses, is that you can show up to anybody's. And depending on the business, depending on the time, but depending on the buyer that comes through, you could be one of the lead contacts and main facilitators of that transaction. So it's a very beneficial thing to do. But when it comes to neighborhood expert, just think about it in two separate groups: qualitative information, restaurants, areas that people hang out, different types of landmarks and features, and quantitative, which is more of the market data. So any questions here? All right, we can always cover this in the end. I think I got 2 more slides to go. So where can you find an open house? You can find an open house on Workplace. If you're not with EXP, Workplace is a social media site that's dedicated to EXP. EXP actually had this social media site built out by Facebook, and it's exactly like Facebook, but it's dedicated specifically to EXP real estate agents. So you can post all of your activity to here. You have a listing. We always post our listings to the Workplace. If you have an open house, you can invite other agents to the open house. And if you're looking for open houses, then you can search on there and say, hey, I'm available this Saturday. Anybody need an open house in this area? And you can go ahead and find those. And this is a great way to expand your network and also see different opportunities. So there's a lot of different ways, and we're trying to really refine these different things as we build this team out. And then lastly, just reach out to your network. If you're with TGRI, if you don't know where an open house is, most likely we'll know where one is. So you can go ahead and reach out to us, and we'll help you connect you with different agents who might have it. And if you're not, then you can reach out always on Workplace or any other connections that you might have. So as I had said, we got 2 open houses coming up. We got one in Chandler this upcoming Friday. It's at 6510 Emerald Drive in Chandler, Arizona. This one's a beautiful house. It's already got multiple offers on it, many above the asking price. So this one's going to be really, really great because if you have time or availability to show, we'll be there from 12 to 6. And this will be a really easy one to kind of get some experience, see how we do open houses. It'll be a real low pressure kind of fun environment. And we're looking forward to that one. And then lastly, this Saturday, we have another open house at 9809 East Axel Avenue in Mesa, Arizona. This one's going to be awesome as well. Really looking forward to this one. I know Gladys is going to be able to make it. I'll be there. Kenyatta will be there. We'll be knocking the doors probably Friday or Thursday, hitting the neighborhood. You guys can always come out and join Kenyatta and I. We're going to be just making connections with the neighborhood and inviting people to the open house. So these are just the 2 TGRI open houses coming up. Anyone got any questions on those? Kenyatta, you want to say something?
You did a fine job, Torrey. I'm very happy how your presentation went tonight, and some good stuff coming out of Sandra. Sandra is new to this call, and her house is the one we're talking about.
Yes.
So that is a I want to unmute her mic, but she gotta let me do it.
Thank you. I hope you do. Let me talk.
Okay. No, you talk in a minute. Hold on. No. Anyway, her house I put on the market. We discussed everything. And there's some other stuff that we want to teach you that we were going over last night. But we're going to teach that on another call because we want to prepare it out and prepare slides and go more in depth on it. But Torrey covered a lot of the good issues. The thing is what we did with this house is we put this house up 2.5 weeks prior to doing anything. And we put a demand line on there that there is no showings until Friday. Well, Friday is our open house. So we've been having offers continuously coming through and rejecting offers and possibly accepting some. It's been a real good roller coaster ride, but it builds so much momentum when you got the time to set the stage on this thing. Hold on. To build that showing up. And that's what we want. And we set the bar really low. But I did some careful evaluations on the comps, and we set it low intentionally to create what we've created today. Is we got a bidding war going on with everybody. Now, we didn't have that luxury on this house on Axel. They wanted to hurry up, put it on the market. I said, let me have 1 week to at least do a coming soon. They refused to let me do that. They refused to let me set the price. So the price is higher than where we wanted to go. However, Sandra was very cooperative. She not only went in and she painted exterior on the house, she painted the interior of the house. She's cleaned it up. It looks like a model home now. If you look at the pictures, their house is a model home as well. It is beautiful inside. However, you can price yourself out of clients. You want to get the people that are dreamers. You want to get them looking at it too, even though it might be priced a little bit higher than what they wanted, but you're there because they can always go back to their loan officer and say, hey, can I get a bump up on this a little bit? I need a little bit more house. Can you help me out? What can we do? We really want this house. Now, what does that do? That sparks that bump up. That sparks that higher quote. And I think Sandra can attest to this, that we're exceedingly abundantly above anything that we could think of at first. Okay. But we touched and agreed on that. We touched and agreed on a price. We said, we're going to get this, right? And her and I touched and agreed on it. But we started at 409. We've got bids all the way up to 450. at this moment. We've got offers. And I'm expecting even more on Friday to be higher. So there's always a method to the madness in it. And what we're going to do the next week, we'll have somewhat of a continuation of this. And I don't know. It's been bad on my asthma, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to have a continuation on this topic, but a more in-depth one where we're going to go over all the pros and cons of everything to do with listing and working with sellers and how to overcome their objections on things. This is going to be very good because there's a lot of stuff that comes up and out when you talk to your own sellers and get their feedback. And I was actually able to go back to my other clients this morning and I used these pros and cons on them that Sandra and I discussed. And now they're considering listening to me on what the listing price should be. So, but we're going to go over that too. There's a con to that too, isn't there, guys? Can anybody tell me what is the con to doing a price reduction?
May I speak, sir?
Yes, you may, dear.
No, I'm going to allow the others to talk about it because we had that discussion, because there's probably more than one con, but from someone else's perspective, that would help to broaden our understanding as a team. Yeah. So if someone else can share what the con is to going back and reducing the price of the posting or listing.
I'd say it probably starts a narrative with the drop in the price to other agents that communicates to the other agent that you already are losing ground in a sense. And then same thing with just the opportunity cost of just the wasted time that you could have been really marketing it to a certain way. So
I agree with that. I feel like when the prices drop on a home, this is from my perspective, from the outside looking in, it gives the appearance or the impression that the price was overpriced in the first place, and it gives me more of an open door to come in with a very low bid.
Right. Now
as an agent,
like
we probably
roll right over.
Yep.
And people often wonder what's wrong with the house.
Yeah,
they had to reduce it.
Yes, that's the first thing. So these are all cons to it all. Anyone else? And hi, Nicole. Nicole, my sister made it on. Anyone else want to chime in on this discussion? What can be a con to this? Or if you got any pros, give me some pros.
The pros is that it's in a competitive spot and you can explain that at the open house. So it's at least corrected. And you can also come up with more comps that define that, and you can back that up with other types of data that can negate that drop in price. You can still position it the right way, but it's not the best. There's not, yeah.
But now you're in a position. I like to play chess, right? So I always want to put people in the checkmate area. So I've got it under control. But now that puts me in a position where I've got to play catch up. Now I'm more reactive than being proactive. And that's what we want to avoid. So if we really front load our sellers up front and make sure that, hey, did you read the pre-listing packet? Pun on Sandra. Did you go over all this? Did you see what we had? Did you take the notes? Did you do everything? And then, here's where I see us at. Now let's go and examine these comps that I have. And this is the reason why I want to price your house at this. And these are all discussions I had with both clients, okay? One is more receptive. The other one is a know-it-all. But, and so now that they knew it all then, now they're coming back and saying, why aren't we getting any calls? Well, there's why. Okay. So can we get more money if we start low?
Yes. In this market, yes, 100%.
Definitely.
And if you go up in offers go up, they don't ever come down on offers, do they? They always go up. So, but if we go down, we can't go back up again, right?
Yeah, and I think low could also be rephrased if low sounds weird to you, rephrased as competitive. It doesn't necessarily have to be a tank. It doesn't have to be at the bottom, but even $2,000, $3,000 less than what's average comps are going on in the area is going to be enough to boost that. And Kenyatta, is that correct? I just want to, yeah.
It is. And the other thing to do is, you know, like on our pre-listing packet, the homework in there, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is Sandra's homework that she did. She did some of it, see? But in here, it tells you, describe your home. What's your features? What's going on with your home? You know, tell me about it. What's good, what's bad? And on this sheet here, it lists all of the upgrades on that home. And what is the cost of that? Now, I'm going to put this in and I'm going to show Mr. Buyer what's in this home. Why is this home worth this dollar amount? Well, it's got $22,000 extra upgrades in it. The bathrooms are all done. Come on in and let me show you all these features, because I've read this packet. I'm educated on what my clients lived through. I got a feeling of what she felt in her home. I can go ahead and execute even better as the salesperson and do this thing, even that like she was right there with me, you know? So that's why we do what we do with our pre-listing packets, and we pre-educate and we front load our clients so we can give them the best service possible and at the fastest amount of time, right? We haven't even hit the market. We hit the market. We went live Monday, and we already have 6 offers that came through. 6 offers total.
For the person that priced their home too high, where were they getting their information from? Because I know you can go on Zillow, and I noticed that certain banks are, you know, if you hold a mortgage with them, they have a your house is approximately worth this amount of money. Were they getting were they just picking a number out of the air, or were they getting information from different sites and came up with a number?
Can I chime in on that, Kenyatta?
Sure.
Okay, so
I think that's something
yeah, we did talk about that. The emotional tie.
Right.
So,
that's just where I was headed.
Yeah, the emotional tie. People put a dollar value on, oh, I raised my babies here, my son got married here, my dog died here. That's one of the things that you kind of got to flush out and get them to understand that you can't really put a dollar value on your emotional ties, because buyers really could care less.
That's right.
So it's more of a realistic view of getting them to understand a realistic view of what your house is actually worth. And that's why that dialogue, the dialogue we had, Kenyatta, regarding asking those questions, providing them with pros and cons as far as the direction that they're going in, because they still want to feel in charge. So you lay it out on the table. Here's the pros and cons if we go this way, or if we take plan B, and get them to understand that they're responsible. And if the thing goes south, they have an understanding why, if they're insisting that you listed at $100,000 more than what is value based on their emotional ties.
Yes. And emotional tie, this is one of the most expensive items a person will purchase in their lifetime. So we have to be very conscious of the fact that there is emotions tied to this. And there is a lot of finances tied to it. But that is our job as the professionals, to make them more aware of why we can't enter into this as an emotional transaction. This has to be a professional transaction. Here is the pros and cons of it. Let me explain things to you. Let me be the professional, and I'll direct you so we can both win in this thing. because what's our first responsibility? Anybody? Can anybody tell me? This is class participation. But it's a fiduciary responsibility. That means we always put our client first. Okay. Above our wants and our needs, what is best for our client? So that means that we can't be greedy, we can't be selfish. We have to be very transparent in what we do and how we say things. And sometimes you got to go in and do some of the work. You got to help them out because you don't know what their mental state is. They may be going through some things. and they need to know they could trust you. That's what fiduciary is, that trust. And that's what our whole motto is, right? Integrity matters. I want this team to be the most law-abiding, the most honest people that others can run into, and the most knowledgeable. That's what we're doing for, okay? Is to learn and to grow together, because that above anything else is where we're going to win, guys. And we're going to stand head and shoulders above any competition out there. I talk to people every day. There's a new agent on here today, Tiffany. I'm glad you joined us, Tiffany. She was with another team. And, you learn from talking to people what other teams are not doing and what they are doing right. And so what we want to do, like Torrey was talking about, that's another case study for us to put in our repertoire. We're going to build a case study of different things. And every time we do something, we're going to improve upon it. Gladys is one of our TCs, and so is Kimber. And we're going to get ready to have a new plan for even you newbies on here to become part of the TC transactional period, where everybody get a little grease on the wheel, everybody get a little fluff under your belt, get a little money under your belt. And it's going to be a really good program once we get it launched. I believe that Gladys is already developing some stuff, and Torrey and Kimber. And I know that when we get that all done and facilitated and rolled out, it's going to be an awesome program, and it's going to be a win-win situation. That's what Team Goins is all about. We're trying to create winners here and winning situations for all of us. We're not just trying to get in your pocketbook like a lot of teams do. You might pay a fee to another team, and what do you get? You're asking yourself that, right? Well, we're going to be very transparent about that. And we're going to show you with every dime that you give into us, where it's going, because it's going to go to television ads. It's going to go to wrapping our vans. We have vans, people. We have 2 vans already. How many teams around the valley have that? Yeah, we got 2 of them. It's going to have a TGRI wrap on it. And you can take that to help your clients move smaller things. As we grow, guess what? I got a semi out back we can put on the road.
A moving company.
I got a whole moving truck. I got a couple
vertical integration.
That's right. So we're ready for the growth. You guys just got to bring the business and we'll grow this thing. I got it all set up, but it takes a team to do this. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it does the same thing to raise these agents, right? I want each and every one of you to have agents underneath you. I want to see you guys build your own team. Torrey's doing a great job of. He's got several under his belt, and we've got others that are doing so. But guess what? None of us are in competition with each other, and we're not going to sit up here and give a hoorah speech on who's doing what or who's doing more than the other. No, this is a collective effort where we pull strength together for each other. If you're weak in one area, guess what? I got somebody that's strong in that area. And we're going to lock arms with you and pull you up by the shoestrings. And we're going to make it happen. Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
When Gladys was, I think it was Gladys was talking, and she said something about your dog died there, or as an example of emotional connection. What if a client tells you, well, Muffy is buried back there under the rose bush, and What do you do?
You let Muffy stay under that rose bush. That ain't
What
no
if the
business.
rose bush dies and they gotta dig it up?
And they find it. That's their discovery. It ain't my duty to discover that or disclose that.
So you don't have to disclose that?
No, you do not. You don't have to disclose if someone was killed in a home either, or dies in a home, because that goes against the different laws that are set in place. So we don't want to ever get into that, because that can get you into a lawsuit. So
so you want to take down the yellow tape before you show the house?
Yes, you want to get rid of the crime tape and clean the floors and change the carpets, and then bring them in
and spray.
Yeah,
with some deodorant,
some bleach on the walls, and then we can put it up there and go for it. But we'll have we have a police lieutenant coming on one day, and then we're going to get some safety training and some other information, and maybe he could tell us how to clean a house.
There are some states
Let's
that
bring
you
up an
legally
important topic of disclosure, which is good, should be a topic hopefully for a future training, but how important that is, and how important that it is actually the client that does the disclosure, and how you emphasize to them to be truthful on the disclosure, because there's a full disclosure form that is very detailed, and it's their responsibility. And but it's very important, because lawsuits happen 9 times out of 10 because of that disclosure, or the failure to disclose, let's put it that way. So very important.
Yeah, Roberta, you were saying something?
Sorry, I'm trying to talk and drive in California. We should look, Gladys, actually, you probably, I don't know if you've done research on this lately, but I know that in some states it is legal that you have to disclose if the house was ever haunted or documented as haunted. I don't think in Arizona you do, but in some states you do. Like, that's how weird disclosures get. So just be careful.
We just went through that.
And that I don't know. I've never researched it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have a quick question about that. So is there legal documentation that is available to the public that a house has been declared haunted? Or is this speculation from the people who lived here? So I guess that would be the deciding factor, wouldn't it, if there is legal documentation?
I remember when I looked into this years ago, because I thought, well, that's odd, because you will randomly, you might have a buyer one day that's like, you know what, we are totally into this. We only want to buy a house that's haunted. And you're like, oh God, how do I find that? But like, if you have a local newspaper that's done an article on a house or anything, I think what I read was if it was ever in print or documented somewhere that there was some sort of paranormal activity, then in some states you do have to disclose that, because like I said, some buyers, they may want that. So then how do you do search on that as an agent?
That's creepy and scary.
Yeah, Nicole said, who gets to determine that the house was actually haunted?
That's what my point is.
Maybe it was with the owners. Maybe it just follows them from house to house. Who knows? You know.
Absolutely.
Well, I think if you walk in and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, that you're in the wrong house.
I went in one of those houses once in out here in AJ. Remember that house, Berta, we were going to buy that had the basement in it?
Oh, and that we were like, yeah, nope.
I couldn't even go in the doorway.
No, the 10-foot pole, absolutely not.
I'm telling you, this house for sure. That house right there, that house is haunted.
Wow.
I couldn't step down.
That house was still occupied, let's say. So you're like, nope, next.
And it was bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of good information. I think we're getting close to 7, so we'll close it out. But one other thing as well, just last point, would be end all be all if you're not able to convince the buyer to reconsider and take up your approach in regards to the listing price. See if you can get them to put in writing within a certain amount of time, if the property doesn't sell, that they'll revisit the topic. That could be something important to put out there, just to kind of, or at least get them to verbally commit and just let them know that that if it doesn't in their best interest, it's best to revisit the topic. And would you align with that, Kenyatta?
Yes, I mean, I'm definitely in line with that. I'm reading some of the chat things here.
Yeah.
And
No
here's
worries.
our social media stuff too, guys. Please write it down and visit us. And right there, Nicole is or Don, there's my email address.
And if you can please put your email in the chat. I know Don's been messaging some folks trying to get everyone's information, but
me or the whole group. Oh, that's everyone.
Yeah,
put your email.
Just because we want to kind of create a good list that we can send this information to. Like Don had said, we got some upcoming events, different activities like open houses and things. We got a lot of different stuff that we're trying to develop. We're just a new team, just trying to work as much as we can. So just look out for those things, and that's the best way you'll be able to hear from us. Besides our social media pages, and we'll continue to add more social media pages as a better slide, and we'll continue to build as we go. But
and that our calendar will be available to you. It's a Google Calendar that Don has developed, and that's going to be something that's really important to stay up on, because we're going to be doing a lot of events. We're getting ready to really kick this thing into high gear, and we want everybody to be a part of it. So maybe you should go back and because I don't think Nicole got the open house pictures, and Nicole, love to have you come by. We got 2 open houses this week. And if you can come by, Tiffany, you as well. You know about the one, but you may not know about the other. But we'd love to see everybody come through and see how we're doing things, and ask questions about the house, and talk to Ray or myself, and we'll we'll point out different features that you should know when selling a house, or other things.
Quick trick I learned, or not trick, but a quick thing that I learned about open houses from when I was in real estate years ago is to bake cookies before you open the house, so there's a nice smell of fresh cookies or fresh baked goods in the house, and then you can offer them to people as they come through. I don't know if, because the market is so hot now, if that would even matter, but you never know. It
Probably
also might take
individually
away
packed.
house smells.
Yeah, they have to
Some
be
people's
individual.
houses have certain smells, so that might help with that.
Yeah.
You could also go and get the what is it, the wall diffusers from, is it Bath and Body Works?
Yes.
They have the fresh baked cookies, or linen, or whatever the smell that you want to, I guess, something that's inviting but not too intrusive or heavy as far as the cologne smell. But you can do that as well, which I've done that as well.
Yeah, we just have to be careful with that, because some clients have allergies to some of those things. And
True.
There was a lawsuit, I think 5 years ago, on a real estate agent that placed those in the home, and they came in and had an asthma attack.
Wow.
The owners. So we got to be very careful and discuss that prior to. But that does help, because aromas make people feel good. They make it inviting. And, that's the same thing. You want people to walk through that door. And that's why it's important to depersonalize the home as much as possible, right? You want them to walk in that doorway and they feel that they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
That makes they're buying that home when they walk through that door. That's the buying signs of it. That changes it. That helps the transitional thing come into play, because they can picture themselves on the walls, everywhere else. They can see that and start to really flourish from these things. So these are all things we want to get a grip on and do. But we're going to be teaching you a lot of stuff, guys, as the months go by. This is just the tip of the iceberg, let's say. But the thing is, and I'm glad that not a whole team, but a lot of our team is here tonight. Some from our old team, but the thing is we got to connect together and be one big family, really, and communicate, because there's strength in numbers. And everybody could be a loner, everybody could be a single person, but when you got a whole group, a whole team working together for one common goal, now you're a real winner. Now you're a powerhouse in the marketplace. And that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build branding, not for individual branding. You'll get that, but the whole big picture on a global level. Think global. I'm not a small thinker. I don't do things small. We're going to grow this thing really big over the next couple of years. You're going to see it. We got good leadership in place. We got great people doing things, and we're getting ready to really take it to a new level. Got some new blood coming in and some new leadership coming in, and it's going to be fabulous. I'm just trying to tell you. So I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Sorry for my coughing. I'll get it together soon. But I'm so happy to see Cynthia come on, and Nicole, and Wade down in Tennessee. And so we got people in Tennessee, we got people in Michigan. Tabitha, where's our Wisconsin? We got to get the Wisconsin on here.
I'm working on it. I am.
We got Cord up in Tucson. And so we're this team is really expanding. We got New Mexico in the house too. Heather Patrick. This is my family. It's my other sister right there. So, you know, we are expanding, guys, and this is something to be proud of the team that we do have, and our integrity matters more than anything. Okay. And these people that are coming back onto this team, Dawn was on, our other Dawn was on earlier. She had to step away, but these ones that are coming on, you'll love these people because their heart is gold. And you know what? We can go anywhere and we can be winners together. Okay. Yeah. I'm proud of every one of you guys. Keep doing things that you're doing, and let's just build something great. You guys in it for that?
Well, that concludes our show for today. We thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. Goins. I just want to say thank you for joining in, and we want you to come back next week for more, and bring a friend. Tell somebody about what TGRI is doing and how we're trying to bring real estate professionals all together in one area. Don't forget to check out the description box below for a link to our weekly Zoom calls. We hope you join us then, and may God's best be yours. See you then. Have you been looking for a realtor and just don't know who to pick? Are you looking to sell your home or buy a new one? Or perhaps you're looking for an investment property? TGRI Realtors is the team for you. Give them a call. They'll take great care of you. The number is 650-427-0539. That's Team Goins, the Christian Realtors. Give them a call.